three internships in three different companies during the time in Bit Pilani. One was very popular, NVIDIA.
Down the line, you might see, in order to create a presentation, you don't have to create the whole presentation, write the text. You just have to write one line.
That's when I got an opportunity to actually understand, okay, these are other things that are present in college apart from academics. But all things changed when I got to explore different things in college.
Microsoft over the time helped me to evolve me as an individual, not as a person who is technically sound, but also as a person who is more confident, who is more driven. Employees are not given work. They are just talked about, the team has this particular goal. An employee themselves needs to step up and say that this is something I would want to pick up.
Always, don't try to stick with one thing, but also put some kind of backups to your plan.
That is something I found interesting.
Yeah, we'll start. We have Kartikeya. He is my batchmate from IIT Kharagpur. He is working in PayPal at the moment. Big round of applause. And we have Shubham Square today. Both of them are Shubhams. One person from LinkedIn and another person from Microsoft. Cheers, guys. So before we go ahead with your intros, just to break the ice among audience, I just want each of you to tell one movie that they can go and watch, get inspired, or learn tech. Any movie that you would suggest, each of you. Anything would be fine. Yeah, please, Kartikeya, you can start.
Well, I think you can watch any movies just for fun, but I will recommend, if you are a sci-fi person, then I think you can watch Matrix to start with. I think that will be very good.
So the name is Matrix. How many of you have watched Matrix? Oh, I'm impressed. Okay. Yeah. Shubham?
So I think one movie that I liked the most in my college life was around Three Idiots. So that, everyone can relate, right? And for fun, you can watch all kind of movies. I love Batman trilogy. It's a great action movie.
Shubham?
Awesome. So before I suggest you a movie, I would just like to ask a question. I'm pretty sure everybody uses Facebook, Instagram, right, for reels, posting pictures and stuff. But there's a very interesting movie that talks about how the idea got originated. How the person who has made and built Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, came up with the idea. And the movie name is The Social Network.
How many of you have watched it? Social Network?
Great, awesome.
Pretty good.
Now,
So
one
for the
takeaway,
rest,
one takeaway you can get from those movies and such movies where you see how ideas are generated, you can get an insight by looking into the movie that ideas are not something that you sit and figure out what I need to solve. It just comes along the way, right? When you keep trying something, keep trying to build something hands-on or figure how to solve a particular problem, idea grows like that. So that's a movie I would suggest everyone. One more movie. I'm not sure how many of you watch Bollywood movies, but recently I watched a movie called Chandu Champion. Okay? So I watched the movie, awesome. So it talks about the zeal and aspiration a person can have in order to achieve something. Right, so that's a two movie I would suggest to everyone.
Awesome. Yeah, so we have Matrix, we have Three Idiots, we have Chandu Champion, and we have Social Network. If you guys haven't watched them, you can go and watch. Yeah. So now the ice is broken. Can we start? Yeah. Please, if you could, Kartikeya, you could start with your intro on how your journey was to right from IIT Kharagpur to PayPal, and we can go ahead after that.
Sure. I already see that you gave a lot of homework to them in terms of movies. So yeah, have fun, guys, while you also prepare and start your career here. So to just give a background about myself, I'm Kartikeya. I graduated from IIT Kharagpur in 2017. Like, we both are batchmates, as Girish already mentioned. Post that I had different career options. I think I was juggling between multiple areas of work experiences. First, I started in a consulting firm called Affine, where we used to provide some data analytics solutions to, it's basically a consulting firm for some of the big clients in different industries like gaming or manufacturing. So you know about PlayStations, right? So we used to provide solutions to Sony PlayStations in terms of the analytics support that they need. Along with it, after that, I switched into a product-based career where I worked as a product analyst at PhonePe. You know about PhonePe, right? So many of us use it day to day. Essentially, using software is one aspect to it, but then again, you have customers interacting with the app day in, day out, and then you have data that flows in because of these interactions. Specifically in the last 8 years when UPI has become a revolution, right? So you have all these payment platforms that are coming in and disrupting, innovating across different sectors. So I think after dealing with that, my experience at PhonePe, I've switched to a complete data science career where I pursued masters in business analytics and data science from IIM Calcutta. And that's when I got an opportunity to work with PayPal, again a fintech firm, which is like globally reputed. From there, I started my career as again like product analyst and moving internally to data science and ML related careers within the company. So this is briefly about my professional experience. But on the sidelines or not work related, I usually go for running for most of the time when I get free. I watch a lot of movies and TV series, just like many of us do. So I used to diligently watch Game of Thrones during my college days because every Monday morning by 6:30 we used to wake up just to watch Game of Thrones during the season. So I think yes, that's the dedication that I'm talking about.
Yeah, Shubham, going in with you.
Yeah. So I'm Shubham Agarwal. I'm a staff engineer in LinkedIn. I think you all can see on the screen. So before I give background about myself, I'm just curious, how many of you guys use LinkedIn? Okay, let me ask, how many of you do not use LinkedIn? Okay, so I guess every one of the people here are aware of LinkedIn. So it's a social network. It's not a social networking platform. It's a professional networking platform which connects different professionals for different purposes like job search, sales, marketing, and so on. So I'm a machine learning engineer in LinkedIn. My journey started in the field of computer science back when I was almost same age as yours when I joined BITS Pilani in 2011. I think that's where the whole journey of my growth, learning, understanding the world, because I was at my hometown Jaipur the whole time before that. And when I came out of that, understood how the world works, a lot of things happened around me which made me what I am today. I was part of the field hockey team in BITS Pilani, which had a great contribution in making me what I am. And then I did 3 internships in 3 different companies during the time in BITS Pilani. One was very popular, NVIDIA, and one was TIFR in Mumbai, and the other was a startup. So this 4 years helped me learn the technical as well as non-technical aspects of life. And then I joined LinkedIn, where I became from a software engineer to a machine learning engineer. And I'll talk about more of my experience in the coming session, but very briefly, this is my background. Yeah.
Yeah, Shubham from Microsoft.
Sure. I work at Microsoft, and it's been almost 6 years I have been working for Microsoft. I started my journey by developing Windows 10. I was involved in the team which was developing Windows 10, and back in 6 years back, we released to all over the world. Since last 2 years, I've been mostly involved in AI ML, trying to inculcate artificial intelligence in all the products we have in Microsoft. So down the line, you might see, in order to create a presentation, you don't have to create the whole presentation, write the text. You just have to write one line, what kind of presentation you want to make, and it will get generated automatically. So that's the AI work I'm currently involved at Microsoft. Apart from my professional journey, I am involved in talks like this. I have been mentoring students because I have a deep passion and interest towards helping people build their career in tech, because I feel whatever learning I have received throughout my life, that is something I can impart to make a change. And along with that, I also pursue music professionally. I sometimes perform at places in Hyderabad. I sing and play guitar, so that's the music side I have in my end as well.
Shubham from LinkedIn, you have the first question. So BITS Pilani is known for its entrepreneurial culture or problem-solving mindset that it inculcates among students, right? So how much of it had played a key role in your career, or what was your approach to a college like BITS Pilani in your 4 years of college?
Right. So BITS Pilani, I think all of you have heard about the college. when I went there, one thing I realized was that people or students from various different backgrounds have come there, from north to south, from east to west, and having the varied type of background. So what made the culture of bits what it is this varied background, and the people from different backgrounds, when they come together, they interact, they communicate, a lot of new ideas come up, and that set the tone for the entrepreneurial mindset and the starting of creating new companies, new startups for the world. Another important thing I realized quite later in my college time is that other than the technical skills that you will anyways learn from your courses, from your classes, what classes and courses don't teach is your non-technical skills, which is equally important in your career, or sometimes even more important, which is your communication skills. How do you interact with people? How do you communicate your ideas in the most articulated manner? So outside of classes, in bits, when we used to meet people in clubs, in associations, in the events, fests, those interactions, those communication build your personality, build what you are, and that helped me also in my career after bits.
Yeah. Just an extension question. So, is it like, let's take your example. What part of you today is built from academics and everything outside academics? If you could give a rough percentage.
Yes, definitely. I think when I joined bits, I had a mindset. Okay, I have to work hard. I have to I have to study computer science. I have to take a placement. I have to go to the tier one college, tier one companies, and so on. But but of course, I was involved in a lot of co-curricular activities which helped me shape my non-technical skills. But when I joined LinkedIn, I realized that technical skills matter, but what matters more is your non-technical skills. How do you talk to people? How do you understand the situations, the challenges that comes around you? So I would say, in rough numbers, only 30 to 35% of your career is dependent on your technical skills, your technical work, your courses. The rest, 70 to 75%, depends on your non-technical skills. And as and when you grow up the ladder, those non-technical skills start becoming even more important. So I'm 10 years into the industry, and now I feel these communication skills are much more important than your non-technical technical skills.
So, just that, can we widen the communication skills part to interpersonal skills, if we can name it better, because it feels so. Communication is not just you speaking to people in front of, say, 400, 500. How you speak to your friend, how you speak to someone you meet, how do you create an impression in less than 3 minutes of meeting someone? This is all that he's talking about.
So it's about how articulated you can communicate your ideas, your message. That's it.
So, so going about the college culture, Kartikeya, I told you about Kshitij, right? Tech Fest in our college, right? Kartikeya was core team member, core team head, steering committee member. It's like just like how we have different levels in every company. There are different levels of positions of responsibility in college. Kartikeya was steering committee member for Kshitij, the tech fest that happens in IIT Kharagpur. It's one of the biggest tech fest that happens in IIT Kharagpur. And like I said, sponsorship is the toughest, right? Second toughest is events. So he used to handle that. Kartikeya, if you can help me help all of them understand what kind of skills that you have gone through a lot of hustle. I have been seeing you very close. I think you would have spent at least 80% of your time in Kshitij during college. So just wanted to understand how it shaped up in you being what you're today.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, I mean, my journey with the technical fest started like when I was first year. Like somebody came in knocking the door saying, "Okay, we have this technical fest coming up." No, I just went and saw what this fest is all about. Like that's when I got an opportunity to actually understand, okay, these are other things that are present in college apart from academics. I was just like you, maybe about 12, 10, 11 years ago.
No, the average age that we are sitting here is probably, they were 8 years 8 years back.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So yeah, maybe in 2013 is when I'd say I joined as a BTech. So in IIT Kharagpur, and this, as what Shubham has said, like my journey also started pretty much the same. Go to college, study meticulously and get some good grades, and get a good placement. But all things changed when I got to explore different things in college. Academics is one side of the equation, but you have many other extracurriculars that shape you up specifically as a well-rounded individual in every part of your career. And I always encourage students not just limit yourself to academics or maybe classroom sessions or something, but just go outside and start interacting with anybody that most of the people around you, like let's say you have batchmates, interact with them, try to get to know them better. Yeah, I think this is what it all started with. So that's why, like in first year, I got as a volunteer, and then I've seen, like, being a technical fest, you have participation from different colleges, different eminent colleges, and also from the locals. So you see like different events also conducted. Like RoboWars is one event which I plan to organize in during my second year. Right, RoboWars is where people from different nook and corner of the country bring robots, actually built autonomous robots, and they are fighting in a grid. So this is the scale of events that used to happen. So there are like a lot of elements to it, right? So firstly, you plan the event first. Like you have this event to be planned. You write some kind of a clear roadmap that, okay, this event need to be planned at this time. Then you also invite the participants. You devise a problem statement for the event. You take help of professors. Then you interact with professors to conceptualize the event better. Then you talk to sponsors for the prize money and everything. People expect prize money in terms of, like, there's a winning podium and people expect prize money for it. That's the incentive. There are like multiple pieces to it, and a lot of times you face rejections. So it is like rejections are one thing which is common even in life, even like anywhere you think about. So one should
probably just for them to understand, rejections is a very simple word. For them to understand, can you let them know on what percentage would be the rejections and acceptance rate?
Yeah, sure. So maybe I would say the acceptance rate would be about 10-20%. I think that's how you should. If you get more than 20%, you should be like very much satisfied in your life. Like, but most of the things that happen in life are, some kind of setbacks. I wouldn't say that those are rejections, but those are like setbacks or maybe stepping stones for you to, go beyond them. Just an example is, in my context would be like, we reached out to different sponsorships for the events, to help fund the events. We got a really good sponsor, like, Vedanta, right? It sponsored initially for the event, but then after, at the neck of the moment, then we faced like a budget crunch from them because they are not funding, or they backed off because they had some internal issues and whatnot. So how do you deal with these chaos always? So, you have support from anybody, but things can break anytime. So you need to be well prepared and also have those, backup mindset. Like if not this, what's the plan B? So always, don't try to stick with one thing, but also put some kind of backups to your plan that you think of. Yeah, this is in terms of my, in terms of the organizing the events. But one other maybe solid thing that I learned over this course of, in the working with my college fest is, obviously like communication skills and stakeholder management, like working with professors and students and everybody. What has helped me is, like, first of all, in terms of communication, and secondly, conveying things in a much more simpler manner, right? This has helped me a lot in my professional career. If you ask me why or how, I would say, like, see, all of us are working in a technical companies, like those are tech-focused companies. So whenever you do work, the expectation of work, or at least in my case, the expectation or the outcome needs to be conveyed in a much more like business-centric way. Like, what I meant to say that is, why I meant to say that is, when my superior asked me, like directors or somebody, they don't expect, how many lines of code did you write, or what is the final output of the code. They just simply ask, how is it helping my business, or how is it helping the company. So any kind of technical work that you also do, even in future, try to translate it in a very simple format or non-complex format. So that will essentially help you a lot in your career, is what I feel.
So, Cheers to Karthik, guys. So, digressing a little, Shubham from Microsoft, can you paint us a picture on how exactly a day one looks for a fresher? I'm entering a gate. I got an offer from Microsoft. I'm just entering the gate. How would it feel? What kind of perks would you have as a fresher when you go into Microsoft?
Now, if I recall my experience working on the first day in the Microsoft office back in the year 2017 when I joined as an intern, it felt like it's not an office. Okay, it felt I have entered into a five-star hotel where reception is huge and the ceiling is just going beyond 8th floor, and I couldn't figure out where do people work, because all I could see was Xbox room, TT table, and then pool, and then we had whole floor cafeteria, and I was curious to know where do people work. And along with me, there were 10 other interns. We all concluded together that this is not the place people work. People just come here to, understand and get some stuff done, and then maybe workplaces will be something else, somewhere else. And then what we realized was the whole building, 50% to 60% space was meant for recreational activities. You have nap room, you have, board games room, Xbox, there are multiple Xbox, you have the whole campus. The campus has a lake, by the way. It has a lake, it has a basketball court, football court, and all that stuff. And then 30% of space are actually utilized for the working part. So my experience was, this is the place which is, letting you not just focus on the work part, it's actually developing you as an individual. And similarly, when I look back, the person I was 6 years back, I wouldn't have been able to sit here and talk to a huge number of crowd out here back in the day. But Microsoft over the time helped me to evolve me as an individual, not as a person who is technically sound, but also as a person who is more confident, who is more driven, who is a visionary, and this becomes a culture in Microsoft where the leadership is such, the people you'll be working will be such, your manager will be such that the area will be totally filled with growth. So that's my take on day one at Microsoft.
Just an extension question. So just for us to understand, what is the most intriguing part in the culture that lays at Microsoft? Anyways, work culture is great. I completely understand that you are very, very proud that only Microsoft has.
Correct. So what I have realized over the time that, and this is the prime difference I see with Microsoft versus other company, that Microsoft never gives you the work. So for example, there is something called planning meeting where we plan that what kind of work we'll be taking next 2 weeks or next 1 month. Employees are not given work. They are just talked about the team has this particular goal. An employee themselves needs to step up and say that this is something I would want to pick up. Nobody will question you if you have not worked. Nobody will question you or nobody will assign you a task. It all depends upon the person who is trying to grow that they can pick tasks. And also if you have 8 hours in a day, usually tasks which are given by the manager is just for 3 to 4 hours. Rest of the 50% of the time is expected for you to bring up some ideas of your own, right? So a lot of liberty we get, lot of work-life balance, lot of lot of time to think beyond work, so that new ideas can come, and that has also helped me to focus on different things apart from work, and eventually company gets better with the new ideas that comes.
And one more question on the same topic. All the 3 companies that you're working in, it's the top 1% of India. So how do you ensure that time to time you stay in the top 1% and don't come down?
So since you talked about college, I'll just quickly backtrack to my days. Now, whatever journey I had so far, starting with joining BIT Mesra at the year 2018, was never planned. Right? I just joined computer science because there was a zeal of people trying to join computer science, and that's what my only intent of joining computer science. So I had never planned it. And the first year in my college, it was the first time I was introduced to coding. I had never even known what coding is. So that was the first time I was introduced to coding, and not sure how many of you are aware, but C programming language is a programming language we were introduced to in the first year of my college. And I hated it because I felt that you have to write bunch of code, 10, 20 lines of code, and then execute it. And then black color console window will come, which is very boring. And you have to enter a bunch of numbers and then some output comes in, right? So my dislike towards coding made me interested towards something which was web development. That is something I found interesting, where you write bunch of code, you execute in the browser, you can see things changing, you can write more piece of code next day, and then you can create a website all by itself. So that was my zeal. Maybe my creative side was intrigued by that, and I learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript in the first year of my college. And in the second year of my college, I started working as a freelance web developer. I was creating websites for small scale companies. Nowadays, when you go to a restaurant, they won't serve you a menu card. They will give you a QR code, you scan it, the menu card will come over the place. Back in the day, it was not very common, but some restaurants were trying to do that. So I was helping them to do that. college fest. I used to design websites for my college fest and all that. So I think the inspiration over there was solving people's problem. That was the inspiration in the college that drove me towards web development, and eventually it made sense for me to understand coding as well. When I realized company will not just look for your web development skills, they will also look for the coding part. So, and it just happened. And when I was sitting in the interview for Microsoft, I just connected the dots, how things that were not planned made sense in the interview. For example, when they asked to me about the projects, I had almost 12 real life projects which was out there being used by people. So that was a very different than people who were along with me in the interview. And also because I was working as a freelance web developer, I had developed my communication skills in a way that I was able to communicate very easily with the interviewer. So that actually made sense. And after I came to Microsoft, the inspiration that I draw now is when I see the people using the product from a country whose name I have not even heard of. So when we released Windows 10, thank you so much. When we released Windows 10, I saw there were almost 200 countries or lost number of people were using it. There were millions of users, and my code is being executed in millions of desktop. So that made me understand the importance of work that you do, and actually inspires you to do much better.
So thank you. Thanks so much.